This is weird, isn't it? A weekend upload back again. We're hoping to bring them back to the channel moving forward from today onwards. So tomorrow there will be episode 1 of season 3 of the Barcelona save. Today, after yesterday's season finale, we kind of cut it short for reasons I won't disclose here. You need to watch yesterday's season finale if you haven't. Genuinely, the most dramatic end to a season in the history of my YouTube channel. More so than Southampton FIFA 18. I'm putting it out there. Genuinely, that's the opinion. Today, though, we're going to have a full season roundup. We used to do this as its own video back in the day when we played every game, basically. And this was kind of its own video. Since we've done kind of a month per video, we've tagged it on to the end of the season finale. But to get weekend uploads back into the swing of things, we're going to start today with a full season roundup of season 2 here at Barcelona. The financial side of things we will deal with in episode 1 of season 3 tomorrow. Today is purely to have a look back at the season that we've just had. How did we do? Who are we going to vote for player of the month, for young player of the month, for goal of the season, etc. I'm going to be adding those into the content moving forward, I think. If you guys are open to maybe even having a vote on some of those things, then do let me know in the comment section down below. There will be spoilers lying ahead if you haven't seen any of the previous recent episodes. We did, however, manage to get Manager of the Month for May, on top of actually getting Manager of the Month for April as well, I believe. So we were in great form at the end of the season, but the question is, those of you I imagine that are watching this have already seen the season finale. Spoilers ahead. The question is, did we win anything with that form? The answer is yes and no, of course. We'll have a look at the competitions we were involved in. We'll have a look at some of the other large competitions around Europe and have a look and see who we might be facing in the Champions League next season. And of course, have a look through what the board expected of me this year, how we did. Evidently not very well by the manager rating, and the squad and the youth squad. Have a look through La Masia and see who we think might be worth a call-up, who we think might be worth actually just cutting off and letting go. But for now, please make sure you drop the video a like. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on episode 1 of season 3 coming tomorrow, where, like I say, we will delve into the financial side in a lot more detail than we will do today. But as you can see from the league table, I still haven't recovered from yesterday's season finale. You play 38 games of football, and in the 89th minute of the 38th game, you think you've won the title. Then there's 1 minute added on. And in the 3rd minute of that 1 minute added on, you concede a goal and lose the league title. On head-to-head to Real Madrid. That will hurt for a while. I pray we win La Liga next season. Because I need to follow this season up with a title-winning campaign. Because it put me on the floor at the time, and emotionally I've still been down there since. It was the most remarkable end to a season we have ever had. Real Madrid win La Liga. We finished second despite winning more games than anybody else. Despite conceding less goals than anybody else. We ended up on the same points, the same goal difference as well. Just remarkable, but Real Madrid only lost a single game all year. Atleti finished 3rd and Real Betis, the side that cost us the title, finished in 4th. Although arguably you could say Real Madrid cost us the title, because if we'd have drawn with Betis, that would have been fine. If we ended up level on points with Madrid like we did, that would have been fine, provided we won or had a better head-to-head against Real. Which we, of course, didn't, drawing 3-3 in the first game and losing by 2-0 at home in the Camp Nou. Maybe the league title went where it was supposed to. Oh, it's still going to hurt for a long time, though. Villarreal 5th and Real Sociedad 6th. Sevilla only 7th. Relegated out of the division this year. In fact, Valencia, not even in the top half. Relegated out of the league this year were Cadiz, Leganés and Girona. They get relegated down to the Segunda Liga. The Spanish Supercopa was won by Real Sociedad against us. We got beaten in the semi-finals last year. We got to the final this time, and now we lost it. We got to the final of the Copa de España last year, the Copa del Rey, and lost to Sevilla. We got to the final of the Copa del Rey this year and won against Sevilla. So that is our first proper trophy in this save. We've won the Spanish Cup, the equivalent of the FA Cup. For those of you that aren't familiar with Spanish football, the Copa del Rey is the equivalent of the FA Cup in England. Pre-season tournament, we lost to Arsenal. Arsenal love a pre-season tournament win, don't they? The UEFA Super Cup was won by Liverpool. They won the Champions League last year. West Ham won the Europa League last year as well. I think Tottenham won the Europa Conference League. I think all three European titles went to English teams. I might be mistaken there. Do correct me if I am. Bayern Munich beat Chelsea, though, in the Champions League this season. FC Bayern München getting revenge for that 2012 loss 10 years on. Well, in real life, obviously, we're second season here, so 11 years on. Porto win against Everton. So still English finalists in each European competition so far, but no English winners so far. And in the UEFA Conference League, no English teams in there. Leverkusen beat Lask by 2-1. So Leverkusen will be in the Europa League next year, unless, of course, they finish high enough in the Bundesliga to earn themselves a Champions League spot for next year. So the other larger leagues around Europe we'll have a quick look at. See who else we might be playing in the Champions League next year. In England, Manchester United win the league by 10 points from Manchester City, who just picked Liverpool to that second spot by a point. Chelsea just two points further back in 4th. Spurs further 2 points further back in 5th. Arsenal 10th. Yuck. Not good for Arsenal. Not good at all. Down the bottom of the table, Fulham, Brighton and Bournemouth relegated. Bournemouth going back down to the Championship at the first time of asking, as are Fulham. Sheffield United survive after they came up last year. In the Championship, coming back to the Premier League will be Burnley and Norwich. Relegated last season and back at the first attempt. One of Brentford, Nottingham Forest, Stoke or West Brom will join them in the Premier League next year. Down at the bottom of the table, Derby County, Peterborough, relegated. Love that as a Cambridge fan. Bolton, who made it up to the Championship. Back-to-back promotions for them. In real life from League 2 to League 1. And then in the first season from League 1 to the Championship. Congratulations to them. Commiserations to them as well for getting relegated back down to League 1 again. Let's have a look at League 1 first. Sunderland and Ipswich finally get themselves back up to the Championship. With Plymouth, Luton, Sheffield Wednesday and Blackpool fighting out in the playoffs to try and find out who's going to get that next spot. Balls. Cambridge United also relegated this season, down to League 2 again. Colchester in 24th and bottom. Newport County and Tranmere Rovers also getting relegated. The Cambridge United save will follow this Barcelona save, and I'm very much looking forward to that, as you might expect. But we've still got business to do here at Barcelona. Coming up from League 2 will be Crewe, Morecambe and Charlton. Surprised to see Charlton relegated last year. Fleetwood, Salford, Port Vale and Bradford will fight it out in the playoffs to see who else joins them in League 1. And relegated would have been Swindon on goal difference and Oldham Athletic down to the conference, where it obviously in the game. In France, unsurprisingly, PSG win the league with an invincible year, 28 wins and 10 draws. Congratulations to them. Lyon and Monaco could be two of our potential opponents in the Champions League group stage. Nice and Lille also involved in European football from France. In the Bundesliga, FC Bayern München win that competition as well. So a double at least for them with the Bundesliga title and the Champions League title as well. Obviously, I can't check on FIFA other countries' cup competitions, so we're not sure who won the Deutsche Pokal. If it were FM, I could obviously check. Borussia Dortmund, VfL Wolfsburg and Bayer Leverkusen will be in the Champions League. They did finish in the top 4 in Germany, so despite their UEFA Conference League win, they will be in the Champions League next year. Frankfurt and Rasenballsport Leipzig will be in the Europa League and Europa Conference League, respectively, in Germany, and relegated from Germany were Union Berlin and Werder Bremen. Not sure who won the German playoff between Augsburg and Hamburger. Can't tell. And just for clarification, Lorient and Troyes came up from Ligue 2 and relegated from Liga were Guingamp, Clermont Foot and FC Metz. In and for full German leagues, in the Dreiliga SVWW, I'm not sure who that is off the top of my head for the full team name. Erzgebirge Au. I have no idea if I pronounced that right at all. I apologise. And VfL Osnabrück get promoted and relegated from the Zweiliga. Are 1860 München And Rostock and Regensburg, I think, are still in the relegation playoff, but I'm not sure. In Serie A, only one league in Italy now on FIFA. Unfortunately, Juventus win the league by 13 points there. Inter Milan second, Roma third, and Lazio fourth. Napoli fifth, AC Milan only sixth. Atalanta down there in seventh, and were there the Serie B on the game. Relegated would have been Empoli, Salernitana, and Spezia. And in our Segunda division, actually we'll have a look at the SPL as well. Celtic from Rangers by 3 points, quite a close run thing there. And in the Segunda Liga, the La Liga Smart Bank, Osasuna are back to La Liga football, as are Huesca. And then one of Eibar, Mallorca, Almeria, and Valladolid will join us in the Spanish top flight next season. So who won the Golden Boot this year in the Spanish La Liga? Was it one of our players? We did score quite a few goals. It was not. It was Rodrigo at Real Madrid who scored 24 goals in 33 games. We did have Ferran Torres up there with 21 goals in 35. Special mentions for Ansu Fati, scoring 17 goals from out wide is quite the achievement and not something I normally do, getting goals from wide men. Pedri up there too with 11 goals from central midfield is very, very good indeed. Assist-wise, we scored a lot of goals this year. Not as many as Real Madrid though, actually, and one less than Atletico Madrid, but still, Sterling with 15 assists out wide on that right-hand side. Turns out it was a good idea to accept that bid from Manchester City for Memphis Depay. Sterling came in plus 65 million euro. Sterling with 15 assists. Ferran Torres moved from out wide up top and got 21 goals. Certainly worked for us, didn't it? Pedri with 10 assists and Fati also with 10 assists from central midfield. Anybody else in there? Ferran Torres with 6 assists of his own and Gavi with 6 as well, which is impressive. Jordi Alba with 5 as well, pushing forward from left back. Of course, clean sheets by a mile, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. He has to stay. He has to stay. I was thinking about moving him on, and up until about 4 episodes ago was pretty damn certain I was going to be moving him on. But evidently, we need to keep him at the club, so he will continue to be our number 1 here at Barcelona. Unfortunately for Peña, our second team goalkeeper, who morale is affecting the entirety of the rest of my squad, he leaves and joins Borussia Mönchengladbach, meaning that we have a youngster coming up from the youth squad, or will have a youngster coming up from the youth squad. Raul Aguiar will join the first team ranks, and I'll promote him now. He's too young. He won't join the first team ranks yet. I didn't realise he was only 15. So, with regards to what the board wanted from me this year, I haven't done that well, have I? Youth development, we got one of the 2. We've still got 2 seasons remaining, or we'll have 1 season remaining next year to complete that long-term objective. And with the idea of playing Bustos as a starting left-back next year, Jordi Alba will take a rotation role alongside Balde. It's a big decision to make, but that is what's going to happen. Then we will do that as well. So, well, to be fair, it's signed 4 youth players to the senior team, and I might have to do that with more than... balls, with more than Bustos. I thought it was just 1. It's not, it's 4. Yikes. That might be more difficult than we thought. We had to win 12 of our 19 league home games, and we won 14 of our 19, so that was very well done indeed. We get a tick there, although, of course, we didn't sign anybody from North America in this particular window, or particular season. We will keep the salary growth under 15%. In fact, the salary growth has shrunk. We haven't grown at all salary-wise, obviously, with the sale of Frenkie de Jong. That had a big impact on that. Domestic success, win the Copa del Rey. We did it! Win the league title? No, we fucking didn't. And reach the big reason why my manager rating is so low is the fact that we got knocked out in the Champions League in the round of 16. Just didn't go out, hasn't gone our way in Europe so far in either of the 2 seasons we've played to this point. Financially, we'll just have a quick overview. We made nearly €1 billion in a variety of different areas this year, with prize money, merchandise, season tickets and match ticket sales, pre-season prize money and transfers. Crucially, with that big Frenkie de Jong sale, we made an overall profit of 744.95, so basically 745 million euro, meaning our transfer budget next year will be 750 divided by 2 is 375. Half of 375 is 180 something, 182 and a half, maybe. 750 divided by 4. 187.5. 187.5, not 182.5. I was close. I tried my mental arithmetic. I wasn't quite there. 187.5 million euro will be our transfer budget next season. And like I say, we'll go into more detail with regards to the full financial situation with the spreadsheet in tomorrow's episode 1 of season 2. But that's a healthy enough budget. It's a really healthy budget, nearly 200 million euro. And to be honest, I'm not sure how much we're going to spend, if I'm completely honest, because the squad looks strong. We had the best defensive record in the league this year, the third best, nearly joint second best offensive record in the league this year. Obviously kept more clean sheets than anybody else. And a lot of the young players have grown phenomenally well, and a lot of other players, rotation players, are still good enough. And we have a wave of youngsters to bring through. So rather than buy in, we may end up promoting those La Masia prospects, and it might make us slightly weaker as a squad, but the growth from them might be absolutely superb, particularly players like Bustos who have the potential to be special. So that could really be a massive, massive draw for us next season. I'm really intrigued to see what happens with the squad. I don't know what I'm going to do at this stage, and I am going to need your feedback on this episode and, of course, tomorrow's episode 1 of Season 3 before we decide what we're going to do. Because, again, it depends on the financial situation as well as to how much money we have to spend and how much room we have in the wage budget, but we will be upping the wage budget next year. With regards to development this year, in fact, let's just do stats quickly. Goals, Ferran Torres with 25 in all competitions, including the 21 in the league, and Ansu Fati with 21 goals in all comps is absolutely brilliant. Pedri with 16 as well is superb, and young Enrique Correa with 10 goals in 22 La Liga performances, 13 goals all told. Sterling with 9, Gonzalez with 4, Puig with 3, Jordi Alba with 2, Trincao with 2, Araujo 1, Gavi 1, Busquets 1 as well. Then assist-wise, Sterling was our most creative player this season with 18 assists, so 27 goal contributions for him this year. Fati with 33 goal contributions this year. Pedri there with 11 assists as well. Ferran Torres with 9. We were really good, and it shows that we play more like Barcelona than I normally do, or a different style of play to what I normally play, because I tend to have goals and assists from my striker, goals and assists from my cam, and that's about it. Whereas now I'm getting goals and assists from all of my front three and the player that's pushing forward from midfield in Pedri. So it shows that the way that we've changed the play style for this save is really working, and we're reaping the rewards of that as well. You can see all of the assists scrolling down. I won't spend too much time going through all of those. So development then. Let's start at the top. Ter Stegen has actually grown this year, although now peaked at 31 years of age at 92 rated. Pena is leaving us, although he's grown up from 71 to 73. Jordi Alba has dropped 2 this year, and like I say, I am probably going to start Ivan Bustos at left back next year. Whilst his stats obviously don't look great, in game he has been rock solid defensively. Obviously doesn't yet offer the forward options that Jordi Alba does, but at the back he's been solid, so I can't fault him. And with the potential to be special tag, who knows how well he'll grow next year. Who knows how well he could potentially get. He may even overtake Alex Balde, who's grown 3 this year to 74. Balde will still be a decent backup, certainly, but I'm heavily leaning towards starting Bustos every single week next season. Jordi Alba, I don't know. Players like Alba, Piqué, Busquets. Do I keep them and let them retire here because they're still eating up a large chunk of my wage budget, or do I let them go? We finally bite the bullet? Because Barcelona aren't traditionally the sort of side that allow players that start to decline the opportunity to retire at the club and just stay on. Carlos Puyol was playing at the top level until he retired. Iniesta, they moved on. Xavi, they moved on. Messi, they moved on. Although obviously that was a slightly different scenario, but they haven't been the side to, for sentimental reasons, keep a player at the club. So at 34, should I let Jordi Alba go? At 36, should I let Gerard Piqué go? Busquets is the only player that's kind of held on to his first team spot for most of the season, but even he now is really falling off the edge of the cliff. Do I let Sergio Busquets go? Would open up a massive amount of money with our wage budget. It's a tough one, and one that I'm not sure what the answer is at this particular moment in time. Eric Garcia has grown up 4 to 85 this season. Spectacular defender for us this season, as has been Ronald Araujo, as his centre-back partner up to 87, also up 4 this season. Edson Ferreira's grown 8 this year, out on loan at Santos in Brazil. So he looks like he's going to grow very, very well indeed. I'm not sure what his overall potential tag is, but looks pretty decent if he's going to grow that much with 1 year's loan spell. PK is down 5 to 80, and he's still on £92,000 a week. Jordi Alba is still on £150,000 a week. It's a lot of money to have just sat there. For PK particularly, that he's played 1 game this year. Surely it's time for PK to go. With Inacio growing continually, and now with Ferreira growing as well, is it time for PK to go? I think it might be. But I'll wait and see what you guys say. Mazraoui at right back has grown 5 to 88. What a signing he's been. Mingueza has grown by 2. He can play at centre-back as well, to be fair. So we do have options at centre-back and at full-back. With regards to midfield, John Guardado asked to be called up. Otherwise, he was just going to leave. So we'll add him to the loan list and send him out on loan next year. He's grown by 3 this season. Sergio Busquets is on £150,000 a week as well. That's 300 grand a week with him and Jordi Alba. Just those two. £400,000 a week if you factor in PK as well. 400 grand on 3 players that... Well, Jordi Alba's played a lot this year. Busquets played 28 games in all competitions, but a number of those were from the bench as Nico Gonzalez took up his role. He's peaked currently, but with dynamic potential, I'm sure, will continue to grow over the next few seasons. He's up 5 to 78 and will continue to grow, I'm sure. Gavi is up 4 to 78. He's grown nicely this year, whilst not having as much first-team football as I thought he would, because Pudge took his spot, although he was first team for quite a while, Gavi, at the beginning of the year. Duarte is up 3 to 70. I'm going to send him on loan next year, as we are with Veenstra, who's also grown 3 this year. You guys have asked for them to go out on loan, and I fully agree that's the right thing to do. Ricky Pudge is up 2 to 80. He's supposedly peaked at the moment, but certainly we'll be sending him out on loan. Not sending him out on loan, what we're talking about. We'll be keeping him as the starting centre mid alongside Pedri, who's grown another 1, up from 86 to 90 now this year, and still not finished growing. He's not peaked yet, and I've started to train his defensive stats as well, because that was the area where he was going to grow quickest. So it may not be long until we see Pedri become a 91 rated player. 15 weeks is the length until he gets another +1 rating with regards to improving his defensive football. Ribeiro, I've had even more bids for him come in, and he has just turned down every single opportunity to move elsewhere. Celta Vigo, Cagliari, Montpellier, and at least 2 others that aren't shown in that list. At least 2 others that he's turned down. I cannot get the man to leave. Rui Fatil, he's up 2, but he's on the transfer list. I just can't seem to get rid of him either. Ernesto Chavez, I'll send him out on loan again next year, or maybe sell him. Obviously, he's only up 3, and we probably have better options in the youth academy at the moment. Ansu Fati, 20 years of age, up to 87 +5, not yet peaked. Plenty more room for him to grow next season, and with 21 goals and 12 assists, if he's going to grow even more, he's going to be remarkable. Raheem Sterling is up 1 to 88. Not peaked, sorry, has peaked, but I'm hoping might actually grow a little bit more next year if dynamic potential kicks in, because he's had a very good season. As we said, 27 goal contributions in 50 games is pretty damn good. Trincao is up 3 to 81. He's not peaked yet either at 81 rated. Only 2 goals in the Copa del Rey for him, but 2 assists in the league. He has only played a bit part role, because I've tended to, rather than replace the winger out wide, I've tended to take Sterling off, move Ferran Torres out wide, and then bring Correa on, haven't I? I tend to not bring a winger on. I tend to move the front 3 around to bring on a new striker. Alejandro Navas I called up this year because he was like, I'm going to leave. So I had to do that. I'll send him out on loan next year. He's up 4. Ezal Zuli we will loan next year as well. Obviously not getting anywhere near the starting lineup or squad. So he'll hopefully get some loan experience. Ferran Torres up 5 this year, not yet peaked, at 88 rated. 34 goal contributions for him this year. Obviously just made that striking spot his own this season, didn't he? Absolutely superb player. And we thought he'd won us the league. It wasn't to be. Enrique Correa up 5 to 76. He's really growing quite nicely now. And I'm not sure what his overall potential tag is. An exciting prospect. So I'm not sure when he's going to peak. But he's got decent pace stats now. 89 acceleration, 81 sprint speed. I'm trying to train a number more of his physical stats to make him a bit better overall. To get his passing better. To make his ball control better. So he's better in possession. And also, as you can see from his heading accuracy and his jumping, etc. and balance, I'm trying to make him better aerially as well. So we can utilise that physique more so. Because he's 6'6". Vissa came up because he was like, I'm going to leave. So we changed him to striker at your request. And he's grown by 6 this season. We'll send him out on loan next year as well. And we'll wait and see what happens with his future. And then with regards to La Masia, obviously the young goalkeeper we've had a look at already in this video. We would like to call him up. And hopefully we'll be able to call him up sooner rather than later. Thiago Souza, I could perhaps call him up instead. Because he's 63, slightly higher rated, and whilst his handling's not as good, his positioning is better, although still lacking. Diving is better, kicking isn't as good, but it's not as important. Reflexes are better. To be fair, I'll probably call up Souza. Let's call him up. We'll promote him to the senior team. Aguiar can continue to grow in La Masia. Pascal Gilbert is growing nicely, up 2. Still doesn't have the physicals, but obviously with Balde and Bustos, we have left back options, so it's not massively important that he improves rapidly. And as you can see from the development plan, I am actually trying to train him as a CDM and see if we can get a bit more of a boost from him. Maybe he becomes the understudy to Nico Gonzalez rather than Busquets, who he might move on. Obviously, he's got 85 to 94 potential, so there is a lot of growth to come from that young man. And I'm not sure if maybe his overall might grow a little bit when we make him a CDM. I'm not sure. I think he might stay as 66, but we'll wait and see. Maya is still growing. A player that I'm now training at centre mid at your request. He just hasn't quite grown as quickly as I hoped he would at centre back. I was trying to do something Ronald Koeman-esque with him to try and kind of make him a ball-playing centre-back, which just, it didn't quite work, unfortunately. So we're going to make the most of his stats that he already has and try and improve him as a centre-mid. Noah Belcourt, not sure what to do with him. He's centre-back at the minute. Can play in midfield as well. Jumping's not amazing, but he is 6'3", and his passing and tackling stats are his better ones, but he's still only 15, so there's plenty of room for him to grow yet. Aitor Aguirre is up 4 this year, and passing's decent, stand tackle's decent. He's getting there, 66 rated. I mean, PK's only 75 and not amazing anymore, so maybe Aguirre comes up to the first team squad and he takes PK's spot in the squad. I'm not sure. Carrizo, I don't know what's going to happen with him, to be honest. He doesn't really excel anywhere, and I now know what I'm going to do. I'm going to release him. Jerome Benoit is currently 84 to 90 potential as a CDM, but comparatively to Gilbert, who we're training in the same position, he's not as good technically and not as good physically either. So at the minute, he's just going to sit there for the time being and grow a little bit more in La Masia, and we should wait and see what happens. So my career overall so far this save, we've been at one club, obviously. Domestic Cups won. That's the Copa del Rey this season. Biggest win was 5-1 against Girona. That was this year in May 2023. Our biggest defeat is that Arsenal game in pre-season. But if your biggest defeat comes in pre-season, then it's fine, isn't it? Record transfer fee of 72 million. That will be incoming, presumably, for Ferran Torres. Total earnings, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? But overall, I've won 76 of my 118 games and drawn 18 and lost 24. What does that make my win percentage? I have a win percentage of 64%. 64%, which is not bad. 64.4%, so we'll round down rather than round up. A 64% win percentage is pretty decent. It's not spectacular. It's not like super high. In fact, what's Pep Guardiola's win percentage? I'll be able to tell from his Wikipedia page what his win percentage was at Barcelona. So comparatively to comparatively to Pep, I have a win percentage of 64%. At Barcelona, Pep had a win percentage of 72.4%, so slightly better. 64.4 for me, 72.4 for Pep. At Bayern, it was 75.1, and at Manchester City so far, his win percentage is 73%. So we've a way to go to catch Pep Guardiola. I wonder what Jose Mourinho's win percentage is, just out of interest. Jose Mourinho's win percentage at the clubs that he's been at is as follows. Jesus, his wiki page is massive. His win percentage at Porto was 71. At Chelsea, first time around, 67. So better. Inter Milan, 62. So we're better than Jose was in his spell at Inter, where he won the Champions League, by the way. Real Madrid was 71.9, so effectively 72%. Chelsea, second time around, was 58%. United, 58%. Tottenham, 51%. And Roma, 59%. So in this save, I am currently performing better than Jose Mourinho since his time at Real Madrid. So I don't think I'm doing that bad, you know. I don't think I'm doing that bad. Overall, this season, obviously, the biggest transfer fee received was €259.9 million. We're having a very, very respectable time at Barcelona, I think, so far. Yes, we haven't won everything there is to win, but I haven't splashed all of the cash that I've had available to me. So we certainly could be doing better if I'd spent another 700 million on the squad. But at the minute, bleeding through Puig and Gonzalez as players like Alba and Piqué and Busquets decline, and still involving young players like Inacio and Mingueza and Gavi and Trincao and Correa. I think we're having a respectable time at Barcelona with the Copa del Rey so far. We came close to winning the title last year. We couldn't have come closer to winning the title this year. Next year, provided I don't get sacked as I advance between seasons, I am going to aim to win both Spanish competitions, and I'll try my damnedest to do the treble next year, but I can't guarantee anything. Because in Europe is where we've really struggled so far, but maybe I put more emphasis in Europe. Maybe I put more emphasis in Europe, disregard the Copa del Rey now. We concentrate on the League and Champions League. Maybe that's how we do it next year now. So, this season, who's been the player of the year? Who's been the player of the year? Unfortunately, I can't sort by match rating. I'd love to be able to sort by overall match rating, but you can't do that. So for me personally, my player of the year is probably Ansu Fati, because whilst he didn't score as many goals as Ferran Torres and didn't get as many goal contributions as Ferran Torres, although it was only one less at 33 rather than 34, the fact that I got so much out of Fati as a wide player in a way that I don't think I've ever been able to do previously in other saves, I think Ansu Fati has to be my player of the year. I think he has to be my player of the year. At 20 years of age as well, he's arguably young player of the year too. But can I give Fati player of the year and young player of the year? I think we'll give Fati player of the year, and I'll give Pedri young player of the year. But special mention to Enrique Correa. Special mention to him for having the impact that he has. Most improved player. Let's give Enrique most improved players. Whilst we've had players that have grown by more, I'll give Enrique Correa most improved player this season. With regards roles, Ferran Torres will probably get forward of the year to ensure that Fati doesn't win both. I'll give Ferran Torres forward of the year. Midfielder of the year, obviously I won't give that to Pedri now because he's won young player of the year. Or maybe I should. There's nobody, to be fair, up front, player of the year could have gone to Torres or Fati. So I'll share that between Torres and Fati. Fati will get player of the year, Torres will get forward of the year. But nobody else in the midfield has really come close to Pedri. So he will win young player of the year and midfielder of the year, I think. And then defender of the year for me is Eric Garcia. He has been so good. As much as obviously Araujo has a higher rating, Eric Garcia has just stood out for me this season as a truly remarkable defender. and I absolutely love him in my backline. With regards goal of the season, that's the one that I'll leave open to you guys. What is the goal that either you think was the best or that is the most memorable for you? So goal of the season has a bit of a twist on it. It's not necessarily the best individual goal. It's either the best individual goal or the one that is the most memorable, the one that means the most, the one that arguably it wouldn't be the best goal of the season with regards individual strike or team move, but the one that stood out to you the most, the one that was most impactful. I don't think I've ever really factored that in. With regards goal of the season, I think it's probably Vinicius against us in the first Clásico at the Bernabeu. Unfortunately, that's the one that stands out to me the most this season, and it's not one that we've scored. That was just a ridiculous goal. But I'll leave that one to you. Goal of the season, I'll leave to you guys. But that will do for this season roundup. It's a lot longer than I envisaged it would be, but I've gone a lot more in depth here than we normally do. Hopefully you've enjoyed. I'm not sure whether many of you will watch this video, or even those of you that do want to watch will have made it this far. But if you have, thank you very much. I appreciate the support that you guys are showing on this Barcelona save. Obviously, career mode content doesn't get as many views on as many channels as it used to, but those of you that continue to show your support week in, week out, save in, save out here on the channel, I very much appreciate you more than you possibly know. Thank you very much indeed. Tomorrow, episode 1 of season 3, where we shall delve into the finances fully. We'll find out exactly how much money we've got to spend and where, what the wage budget looks like, what our debt looks like, significantly better than it ever has done. We might be debt-free by halfway through season 3, which would be remarkable to see off 1.5 billion euros worth of debt in 2.5 years. But that genuinely might happen. For now, though, that's all for this episode. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Weekend uploads are back, and I'll see you tomorrow for another one. Bye-bye.